We were doing production management. Under production management, we were doing the elements of production management. First we have done, that is the input management. The next is the cost control. The cost control involves the management of various elements of cost such as material, labor, and direct and indirect cost. The cost control of material and the material management supplement each other. The basic consideration in inventory management is having the right amount of stock on hand, neither too much nor too little. Fundamentally, inventory control is deciding how much to buy and when. The critical components of cost control are material, labor, and burden. You can write in terms of A, B, and C. A. Material. The material represent the largest part of goods cost. Materials are purchased according to the needs expressed in the production forecast. There are two sets of cost involved in purchasing: procurement cost and carrying cost. The material procurement cost vary with the number of orders and may be reduced for any given time by placing fewer and larger orders. However, it results in an increase in inventory and consequently in the other set of cost, the carrying cost. Procurement costs vary directly with the number of orders and inversely with the amount of investment. On the other hand, the carrying cost may be reduced for a given item if small purchase orders are placed. However, the result will be an increase in the number of orders and consequently an increase in the first set of cost, the procurement cost. Carrying cost vary directly with inventory investment and inversely with the number of orders. Labor. B. Labor. A was material, B. labor. Personal services are needed for manufacturing operations. An effective management and careful use of labors are important for cost control. The production is expressed as the number of direct labor hours needed to produce a specified number of units for every product made. The number of hours required for the production of items can roughly be estimated by past information or by time study. Time study is more practical and reliable for establishing the number of labor hours needed for a given product. The cost of labor hours estimated can be calculated. Calculation of the true cost on production is not as simple. It is because of the involvement of some indirect labor hour also for completion of a production process. The indirect labor hours are difficult to measure and in some cases even not possible to identify. Indirect labor hour is the time spent by individuals not directly involved in the production. For example, bringing of packaging items to packaging lines by a serviceman reflects the indirect labor hour. Analysis and control of available hours of work and use of the labor force efficiently is difficult without incorporating the indirect labor hours. The involvement of the indirect labor hours must be identified as repairs, equipment cleaning hours, line changeover, time spent by quality control inspectors, etc. Sometimes the direct labor hours are used for indirect jobs for controlling labor hours. Such jobs, however, must be minimized because the wages of direct laborers are far higher than that of the indirect laborers, contributing in raising the labor cost for a specified process. For good cost control, every effort should be made to lower the percentage of indirect labor to total labor hour. Third, under cost control is burden, BURDEN, burden. C. Burden is the expenditure on intangible elements and is categorized as direct and fixed burden. The direct burden refers to the expenditure on supervision, lost time, clerical help, employee benefits as compensation of overtime, sick of pay, and employee hospitalization. Operating expenses include indirect burden are laundry of uniforms, seminars and traveling, repairs and maintenance are also consisted in direct burden. The fixed burden includes the expenditure on electricity, land, sales tax, and depreciation of the instruments and facilities used in the quality control department. Some companies allocate as much cost as possible directly into production department to get as close as possible to true cost. Controlling such costs demands a careful analysis and ways to minimize them.